viewers out there, it's my pleasure to be with you in this other edition of our video, and today we'll be looking at the prime numbers. This is a question, this is a video for grade 5. So if you are in grade 5, then you can learn a lot. This is the second topic in your first time scheme of work, and at the end of these video lessons you will be able to define a prime number, and you'll be able to identify prime numbers wherever they may be. The last time we discussed place values of number, I guess I gave you some quizzes which I asked you to download in the description section of this video, Did you download them? If you are able to have completed those quizzes, I want you to drop your answers in the comment section, and guess what? I'm going to get you your bonus. You want to know what that bonus is? I want to see your comment. What are prime numbers? Prime numbers are numbers that can only be divided by itself and 1. It's a simple definition. When you are given a value and that value can be divided by itself and 1 and cannot be divided by any other number, then that value is a prime number. Now take note of these two criteria. We said a prime number must be divided to 1 by itself and 1. That means a prime number must have 2 factors, and that factor is division by itself and what? 1. So whenever we are talking about prime numbers, we talk about two factors. These are numbers that can be divided by 2 factors, 1 by itself and 2, it must be divided by what? By 1. Now there is a lot of question that goes around around 1 being a prime number. If your teacher asks you, you're in grade 5, is 1 a prime number? What will you say? Some persons will say yes, and some persons will say no. But come to look at this. Let's analyze the number 1 with these criteria we've given. 1 is the number 1. Now we say any number that meets up with this criteria, it can be divided by itself and can be divided by 1 is what? A prime number. So that means any prime number must have what? 2 factors. Now let's talk about 1. How many factors do 1 have? The number 1 has only what? Only one factor. And as such, it is not a prime number. Of course, it can only be divided by what? By itself, and it is still what? 1. So 1 is not a what? Is not a what? Is not a what? Is not a prime what? Number. So take that into your mind and get to know about it. Whenever you go, wherever you go, a prime number must meet 2 criteria. 1, it must be divided by itself, and it must be divided by 1. Any number that doesn't meet this criteria is not a prime number. Now I'm going to show you 2 methods in this video lessons how we can be able to identify prime number. And we are going to start with the number 1 to what? 1 to 11. Now we're going to look at the number 1 to 11, and under this number 1 to 11, this is under a topic, identification of what? Identification of prime what? Prime numbers. Now how do we we identify prime numbers? Now we are going to look at this under various headings, and I want you to take note as we go about taking this. I want you to take note how we're going to analyze this. After this method, I'm also going to teach you what we call the sift method. Through that method, you can be able to know numbers that are prime numbers in a given list of numbers you are given. Now let's look at these numbers 1 to 10 under 1 to 11 under different subheading. And remember, we're going to consider number 1 to what? 1 to 11. Now, how do we go about doing this? We have our numbers. I want you to tag along with me. We'll have our numbers 1 to 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and what? 11. Now I want us to look at this number one after another, and after this we are going to look at how we analyze this number. Now we are going to look at the topic. We're going to look at the heading factors. Remember, I told you that a prime number should have how many factors? 2 factors, itself and what? And 1. If it has lower than 2 factor, it is not a prime number. If it have more than 2 factor, it is not a prime number. Now we are going to consider the number of what? The number of factors that number has. And then finally, we are going to describe it, whether it is what? A factor number or not a prime number. Now let's go. Remember, we are considering number 1 to 11. Now let's look at number 1. How many factors do number 1 have? Number 1 has only 1 factor. It can only be divided by what? By itself. It has 1, and by itself and itself. So how many factors does it have? It still have what? 1 factor. So in this regard, we can say it is not a what? Not a prime what? It is not a prime number. Now let's look at number 2. How many factors do number 2 have? Number 2 can be divided by itself 2, and can also be divided by what? 1. Is there any number that can divide 2? No. So it has what? 2 what? It has 2 factors. So with that, we can say it is what? It is a prime what? It is a prime number. Are you following me? Now let's look at number 3. Number 3 has itself. It can be able to divide itself to give us 1, and what? And 1. 3 divided by 1 is what? 3. So that means it has what? 2 factors. And as such, it is a what? It is a prime what? It is a prime number. Are you following me? Now let's go to number 4. Number 4 can be divided by itself. It can be divided by 2, and it can be divided by what? 1. 4 divided by 1 is 4. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 4 divided by 4 is 1. So it has how many factors? 3 factors. Remember the criteria for a prime number. Is it a prime number? Absolutely, it's not a what? It's not a prime what? It's not a prime number. Good. Now let's look at number 5. Number 5 can be divided by itself and what? And 1. So it has what? 2 factors. It is a what? It is a prime number. Now let's analyze number 6. 6 can be divided by itself. 6 divided by 6 will give us 1. It can be divided by 3. 6 divided by 3 will give you 2. It can be divided by 2. 6 divided by 2 will give you 3. And it can be divided by what? 1. 6 divided by 1 will give you 6. So how many factors does it have? It has 4 what? It has 4 factors. Because of that, it is not a what? Not a prime what? It is not a prime number. Now let's analyze 7. 7 can be divided by itself and and what? And 1. So it has just 2 factors. It is what? It is a prime what? It is a prime number. Now let's consider 8. 8 can be divided by itself. It can be divided by 4 because 8 divided by 4 is 2. Now it can be divided by 2 because 8 divided by 2 is 4, and it can be divided by 1. 8 divided by 1 is 8. So it has how many factors? 4 factors. It is not a what? Not a prime number. Now let's consider 9. 9 is a number that can be divided by 9. It can be divided by 3. It can be divided and also and 1. 9 divided by 9 is 1. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 9 divided by 1 is 9. So we have what? 3 factors. So it is not a what? It is not a prime what? It is not a prime number. Now let's go to 10. 10 can be divided by itself to give us what? 10. 10 can also be divided by 5. It can be divided by 2 and what? And 1. So it has how many factors? 4. What do we say? It is not a what? Not a prime what? Not a prime number. Lastly, let's look at 11. 11 can only be divided by itself and what? And 1. So it has 2 what? 2 factors. It is a what? It is a prime what? Number. Now guess how many prime numbers we have? We have 1. 1 is not a prime number. So we have 2. Right? We have 3. We have 5. We have 7. And what? And we'll have 11. So from number 1 to 11, we have how many prime numbers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 prime numbers. So you see, we have been able to isolate the prime numbers in the numbers 1 to what? To 1 to 11. Identifying of prime numbers can be very easy. Now, your teacher can be able to ask you a question, and the question is, list the prime numbers from numbers 1 to 50. How can you go about doing that? This time around, we are going to use what we call the sieve method. This sieve method was adopted by a Greek mathematician called Sieve. This man adopted this method, brought up this method, and it is being used today. We call it the sieve method. Using this sieve method, we are going to find the prime numbers between numbers 1 to what? 50. Now, what is this sieve method all about? One, you need to find a prime number and then cross off that prime number, then find out the multiples of that numbers and cross them out. We are going to take them step by step, and as we take this step, you get them one after another. Now, what are the multiples of a number? Multiples numbers are the result you get when you multiply a given number with numbers from 1 to what? 1 to infinity. So now if I'm looking for the multiples of 2, I can multiply 2. I can multiply 2 by what? 1, 2 by 2, 2 by 3. I can multiply 2 by 3, I can multiply 2 by 4, and the result, this will give me 2, this will give me 4, this will give me 6, this will give me 8. Now 2, 4, 6 and 8 are multiples of what? 2. Why? Because if I keep multiplying 2 with numbers from 1 to infinity, the results I get continues to be the multiples of what? 2. Now take note of this, as we'll be using it as to remove prime numbers that are not prime numbers from this set of numbers from 1 to 50. Are you ready? Now let's go. let's start. We are going to look at the first few numbers, and I want you to take good note, because after this, from 51 to 100, you're going to have it as a task and you have to do it, and I want to see your results in the comment section of this video. Now let's go. We've come to agree with the fact that 1 is not a prime number. So what do? Rule out 1. Now the next step we are going to look at, number 2. Number 2 is a what? Is a prime number, so we'll circle it. Now the next thing we're going to do in this step is to cross out the multiples of 2, because they are not prime numbers. Now remember the multiples of 2. 4 is a multiple of 2, because 2 times 2 is 4. 6 is a multiple of 2, 8 is a multiple of 2, 10 is a multiple of 2, 12 is a multiple of 2, 14 is a multiple of 2, 16 is a multiple of 2, 18 is a multiple of 2, 20 is a multiple of 2, 22 is a multiple of 2, this 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 is a multiple of 2, cross it out, this is a multiple of 2, this is a multiple of 2, and this is a multiple of 2. That is gone. So you see, we've been able to remove numbers that are not prime number, that are related to 2. The next number we want to pick is the next prime number in this set of number, and that is what? 3. 3 is a prime number. So we are going to consider the multiples of 3. Remember I told you multiples of 3 is when you have 3 times 1, 3 times 2, 3 times 3, 3 times what? 4. So the multiples of 2 are of 3 are 3, 6, 9, 12. We have 3 times what? 5. That will give you what? 15. So you see, on and on. If you continue multiplying 3s with numbers from 1 to 100, whatever they produce are called the multiples of 3. Now let's go. We are going to remove this multiple of 3 just as we remove the multiples of 2. Now do we have them here? Good. Multiples of this is already gone. 9 is a multiple of 3. So we have, after 3, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The next one is a multiple 2, 3, 4, 5. The next one is a multiple of 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The next one is a multiple of 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a logic, you know. The next one is a multiple of 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The next one is a multiple of 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The next one is a multiple of 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The next one is a multiple of 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that is all. So you see, we have finally isolated the multiples of what? 3. So the next step now you need to do is to go ahead and look for the next prime number that you know is a prime number. And what is the next prime number? And that is 5. So we are going to now analyze the multiples of 5. What are the multiples of 5? 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 3 is 15. 5 times 4 is 20. 5 times 5 is 25. So we are going to analyze them. So the first multiple of 5 is what? 10, right? Because 5 times 1, 5 times 2 is 10. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. The next is what? Is a multiple. 1, 2, 3, 4. The next is a multiple. 1, 2, 3, 4. The next is a multiple, is gone. 1, 2, 3, 4. The next is a multiple. We'll clear it, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. The next is a multiple, is gone. 1, 2, 3, 4. The next is a multiple. We clear it. Multiple of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. The next is a multiple, is gone. 1, 2, 3, 4. The next is a multiple, it's gone. 1, 2, 3, 4. The next is a multiple, it is gone. So you see, we have cleared the multiple of 5. Now the next thing we need to do is to look for the next prime number after 5. What is the next prime number? 7. Thank you very much. So you see, we'll circle 7. It's a prime number. So we are now going to consider the multiples of 7. And these multiples of 7 are not prime numbers. 7 times 1 is 7. 7 times 2 is 14. 7 times 3 is 21. On and on we go. So we have 7. 7 times 1 is 7. 7 times 2 is what? 14. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? Good. After 6, this next one is a multiple. So we'll count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The next one is a multiple, is gone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The next one is multiple, is gone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The next one is a multiple, is gone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The next one is multiple, it's gone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The next one is a multiple of what? 7. We'll clear it. And that is the end. So if we have numbers that are more than 50, we are now going to consider the what? The number 11. But the number we have is not more than 50. So if you are going to do this same, use this same sieve method for number from 51 to 100, then you consider 11, and then you consider the multiples of 11, kill them all. The next number you're going to look at is 13. You consider the multiples of 13 and kill them all because they are not prime numbers. I guess you can do that, as I will be giving you as your quiz to go about numbers from 51 to 100. Now, let's circle all the numbers that are prime numbers, because all the numbers remaining after we have killed all these other numbers are prime numbers that are below 50. Now let's go. What are the numbers? 11, 13, 17, 19, 23, 29, 31, 37, 41, 43, and 47. So the prime numbers we have between 1 to what? 50 are 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, 23, 29, 31, 37, 41, 43, and 47. So you see that with this method we have been able to find prime numbers that are between 1 and what? 50. I know you're a smart student, you can do this. Now I want you to go about looking for the prime numbers from the number 51 to 100. Can you do it? Of course, it's time for quiz. I want you to go about doing that and make sure that you drop your answer in the comment section. Look at the description section of this video and you will see a worksheet. Go there, download the worksheet or sheet on PDF and try those sample questions. You get them right, you have a real bonus from me. Today we have been able to know what prime numbers are, and we have been able to see how we can identify prime numbers. Now go do your assignment. Don't allow your mom to do it for you, because on New Track Mathematics we want to show you how to be a super duper mathematician. Of course we'll teach you how to be that. So go do those home tasks yourself, do those quizzes yourself, and I will see you in the next class. Now guess what? In the next class we are going to look at prime factors, and we are going to know what prime factors are and how to find out prime factors. Look forward to this video. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, hit the subscribe button now so that you will be the first to get these video lessons once they are produced. And I look forward to seeing you in my next class. Thanks.